So the other day, there was this article that came out, and the headline, I think it was CBS, the headline was, Joe Biden calls off negotiations with Republicans on infrastructure bill. So I was like, oh, great. I clicked the article to read it. In the very article, they say, no, he didn't. He called off negotiations with one set of Republicans led by Shelley Moore Capito or whatever her name is, and now he's negotiating with another group of Republicans led by Mitt Romney. So why'd your headline say he stopped negotiating with Republicans on the infrastructure bill? You admit he's still negotiating with Republicans on the infrastructure bill. That makes no sense. Just totally misleading headline. Anyway, put that aside. They're not getting anywhere. Of course they're not fucking getting anywhere. You need 60 votes to get anything through. You're never going to get that many Republicans for anything. And if you think you will, I have a bridge to sell you. Well, guess what? Now we learned from an NBC News reporter, House Problem Solvers Caucus, I love that. Those are the corporatist so-called centrists. House Problem Solvers Caucus, made up of 29 Democrats and 29 Republicans, has agreed to support $487.2 billion in new physical infrastructure spending over 8 years per aid. They're still working on pay-fors. So the group is led by Connor Lamb and John Katko. Let me repeat that. $487.2 billion infrastructure bill. That's what they're working on. That's what they're agreeing on. Do you know how much money we need simply to upgrade the infrastructure? So not even like make it like it's the best in the world, make it like it's competitive with the best in the world, like really go above and beyond, just to upgrade, just to do the necessary repairs. There was a report that came out in 2017, and the civil engineer said we would need $4.6 or $4.7 trillion to just upgrade our infrastructure. And again, that's a 2017 number. Probably more now. It's probably 5.5 trillion or 6 trillion. The original proposal from Biden, I forget what it was, like 2 or 3 trillion, something along those lines. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But it was less than the 6. Then he watered it down, got absolutely nowhere. The Republicans raised their thing like 50 billion or 100 billion, some embarrassing number. And now we're really having a conversation on $487.2 billion in infrastructure spending. Dog, that does Dickie McGee's axe. I'm not even sure that covers New York, Texas, and California. I'm not sure that covers 3 fucking states for the work that needs to be done. This is not a New Deal era. Biden's not the new FDR. This is Ronald Reagan shit. This is deficit hawk Ayn Rand garbage, and they're working on pay-fors for it. As if that's not necessary. Don't give me this inflation garbage. It's simply untrue. By the way, the light went off if I got a little darker. But don't tell me that, oh, inflation's going to be a big problem. We had deflation last year, and this year, inflation was 4%, which just kept us up to pace with where we should be. So it's not going to lead to inflation. But anyway, $487 billion when we need over $5 trillion. Problem solvers, my ass cheeks. It's the corporatist caucus. If I was Biden, if I was the Justice Democrats, if I was any nominally lefty congressperson or senator, I would take this plan and wipe my ass with it and do a press conference and call all of them out and say, you guys are fucking jokes. It's time for a new deal. Not some garbage half measure on the half measure on the half measure that gets us absolutely nowhere, where you pretend like we're seriously solving problems by spending next to nothing and getting no improvement. God, DC is so stupid, and this is yet another example of it.